Hello, my name is Lynda Brown, and welcome to Meet the Candidates. It's my pleasure to bring this one-to-one question and answer forum to you. You know, in speaking with people around town, it's come to my attention that sometimes folks don't really know who might be running for a particular office, or even at times who's representing them presently. So this is one way for residents to get to know who's running for what office and to get to know a little bit more about the candidate and the issues that are important to them. I'll be asking local candidates questions that are pertinent to the office that they're seeking. They'll be about different issues facing the city and getting their responses and what they would do to either change or build on these issues. Now, notices inviting candidates to join in on this forum were sent out to all who are running. The ones that you'll be seeing in the interviews are candidates that responded. However, before I start, I'd like to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to HC Media for opening their studio to me along with the help of their wonderful staff and equipment. So much goes into being able to do something like this, and I appreciate it so much. They are one of Haverhill's gems. So, we're going to get started with our first candidate. Hello, and I'm here now with Joe Sherlock, who's a candidate for City Council. Welcome.
Hi, Lynda. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody here at HC Media.
Thank you. Well, it's thrills. I'm thrilled to finally meet you.
Finally?
You know, you hear the name and then see the face, and it's like, finally, right? So, Joe, we know you're running for City Council. Tell us just a little bit about yourself that we don't know about you, away from politics.
Away from politics?
Away from politics, a little bit of.
Yeah. So I grew up here in Haverhill.
Okay.
I live here in Haverhill. My family moved here when I was like 6 months old. My mom immigrated from Colombia.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, yes. to Lawrence and then to here. My dad's grown up in North Andover, right. Irish Scotch family. They met at work. And yeah, then the rest is history, right?
The rest is history, and here you are, right, running for City Council.
No,
so that leads right into
it's their story.
Why are you? No, it's your story too. Your parents' story is your story too.
Sure.
Why have you decided to run for City Council?
Yeah, so Haverhill's home, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've grown up here, and Haverhill's always been good to me. You know, they met, and they wanted a place that provided more opportunity than where my mom was, but was more affordable than where my dad was.
There you go.
Haverhill was that, right? Haverhill was safe, but it was affordable, and it gave us a chance to have our family here.
Good.
And Haverhill always treated me well, right? So my Haverhill High education was really formative for me. I had fantastic teachers who are friends to this day. Shout out to all the Haverhill High teachers out there.
All the Hillies, right?
All the Hillies, all my Hillies.
That's
but
great.
That led me to, after college, to become a teacher. So I joined Teach for America. I spent the last 2 years teaching. For those who don't know, it's a Peace Corps, AmeriCorps style program. So I spent the last 2 years teaching 5th and 6th grade social studies.
Right, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I have a couple gray hairs already from it, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, you teach the middle school, right?
Yeah,
So that's understandable.
It ages you.
Exactly.
But like at a ground level, I figured out what happens when policies aren't thought all the way through. What happens when you underfund a school system, to an extraordinary level.
Exactly.
I learned how to teach latitude and longitude really well.
Right.
But I also learned what happens. You can't teach a hungry kid.
Well,
so.
That is so true. It's very, very true. There's so many different dynamics that go into that. I think it's really true.
So that emphasis on seeing, where government can do better, where your local government can do better, I think motivated me quite a bit to, when I came back home to see that the more things change, the more things stay the same. And then we could do better.
And then we always could improve on that model, right? Isn't that how it works?
That's why I'm running, because we can do better.
Well, as we move forward, so shouldn't the ideas and things like that, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the parking situation downtown. We have talked to a couple of other people about this, but it's something with all the rehabbing and building and things going on downtown. What is your opinion on Haverhill building more parking garages,
Sure.
parking spaces? Are the meters a good idea?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
So I would want to look at the numbers more. One of the first things that jumps out to me,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I know, is that the downtown parking is not standardized in terms of like
No,
you
right.
pay, like it really depends on where you park.
Depends on where you park.
And so just having like uniform rules, I think, would clarify a big chunk of it to simplify things.
Right.
I do think we need to be creative with how we develop more parking. So Haverhill, people that are getting around in Haverhill are usually getting around in vehicles.
Right.
We're not Boston. We don't have a T here.
Right.
At the same time, like downtown would really benefit from green space. And so I kind of reject the false dichotomy of we can only do one, right? Like you could have green space on top and a below ground parking deck in different areas.
That is very progressive, and it's a wonderful idea because in being involved, and let's just go in a little and talk about how important green space is.
Yeah.
Because as we do build, sometimes that is really left out, and we know we
Yeah.
have wonderful green spaces now with Winnie Kinney, or
Right.
How do you feel that you would make sure with all this new kind of building going on that they make room for green space?
Yeah, I mean, you have to zoning is a complex issue. So you need to nerd out when you're looking at zoning laws in any municipality. And so being deliberate about when we're building, where we're building,
We're building.
right? So to just take over green space for building, I would be really cautious about that. But where there's already places that have a carbon footprint, okay, now we're talking about something different. So being really deliberate about where we're building, but also, Haverhill's wonderful in part because of how geographically diverse it is.
It's very,
Right?
very
Like you can be in downtown, and if you look like this, it looks like you're on the north end. But you can go out to other parts of Haverhill, and it kind of looks like Vermont, right?
Absolutely,
And that's our appeal.
It's one of our strong things too, because of the
wonderful.
diversity that we do have. I totally agree with that. Now, we have some serious issues with the opioid crisis, which can lead a lot of times into just crime, and public safety is huge on people's mind. How would you work along with the police department and the mayor to kind of better the communication, maybe? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, first I want to applaud the important and significant work that city leadership has already done.
Absolutely.
Toward that. Members of the city council, the mayor, the police department, and the fire department, they do a lot of great and deliberate work toward that end.
It's important to have that.
Yeah, and I recognize that. And not anybody, but a lot of folks who live in Haverhill, they have a connection to this. We had our first class reunion just this past year. Not everybody could make it. And that was when one of the moments that hit home for me is that this is my community. And so being deliberate about it and treating it as a public health issue, as making sure that we are being data-driven about what policies we enact. I know, since 2015, we've had Narcan doses in every school in Haverhill. It's unfortunate that has to happen, but at the same time, that has to happen, right?
It's unfortunate, but those are the times that it's where we live. It's where we live in now, right?
Right. And so making sure that the different agencies and groups and first responders in our city are communicating, that we are using and following best practices, that we're constantly updating and revising. Policies and studies from 2015 are not good enough when we're looking at bylaws in 2019. I wish they were. But that's not the case.
It's not the world we live in anymore.
Yeah,
it
it's
really
not something
isn't.
that we can rest on.
Absolutely. So you would just work to continue building on that and
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think that there also could be something to just making sure that the community comes together quite a bit on different things, because there's different groups that are doing different parts of this work, and making sure that they're as communicative as possible.
There are.
There's everything. Everywhere from the city itself and the fire department and the other first responders to, there's a Haverhill Against Heroin Facebook page.
There is,
right?
absolutely.
And they don't have a brick and mortar shop, but they do have people who are constantly the ears of people here in Haverhill that need someone to talk to, that need someone that they can confide in. And they have a different perspective on the needs of folks here in Haverhill as well. And I don't know that all those groups and all those folks are communicating in a way that the people of Haverhill would be better off if they did, if they had that platform.
Exactly. I think it's wonderful. I've looked at their Facebook page, and they really do a great outreach.
They do great work, and I've
They
talked
do.
to them at length. I've sat down with them for coffee. It's at least one of the administrators,
They do
and
good.
listening to all the different work that that they do behind that page, and then outside of it, they're a wealth of knowledge that's, I believe, untapped by the city that we could work with.
That you could work with. You know what? It comes from all different sides. You know,
From
it's
so many
what it
different
is.
people.
Absolutely.
And people that are in those jobs right now are doing their very best, and I want to really drive that home.
Yes. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't trade with them. That's a tough
Yeah,
job.
who would want to run for something like that?
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about if you were to be elected, what is one of the first issues that you would like to see tackled?
Yeah, I've thought about this quite a bit, and I go between public safety and public education, and I care about a lot of different issues in Haverhill.
Of course.
And if you have to boil it down to one, I will be frustrated.
I know, but just
hypothetically. For the
right.
hypothetical, public education is so important, and public education is public safety.
It is. They go hand in hand. If you start right, that it really
If you
is.
start right, if you reach a child at a young age, the return on investment on a dollar spent in education is enormous compared to any other tax dollar that you can spend in the city.
Correct.
Right? So violence is down in Haverhill, but gang violence is up.
That's right.
Being in a gang is not lucrative, right? The children are not being recruited into gangs because they're making a ton of money doing it. It's connection. It's
Well, of
it's a
course.
place where, if
They belong. They feel like they belong.
if home life is tough, this is a place for belonging.
Right.
So if you spend money on an aftercare program that gives kids a safe place where they have a guaranteed meal, where they're guaranteed safety, where they're going to have somebody who's watching over them do their homework that evening, the return on that dollar is a return not only in that kid's future, but in the public safety of everybody living here in Haverhill.
In the neighborhood, in the city. That's
Right.
the truth.
And it's not, and so that being said, that's not one size fits all, right? So, for example, the minimum manning limit that the fire department has right now is not high enough.
Right.
And that one's not as directly correlated to education, but it's directly, but it's a public safety issue that is just as important as well.
But it is. They do. They interlock almost. They do.
Finally, thank you.
Well, listen, we are getting close to out of time. I just want to get to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you. Is it a web page, your telephone number? What is that?
I mean, so you can call me, text me, email me. I'm a good millennial.
And
You
so
can
what is
tweet
your
at me.
Okay, so give a couple either
So
a number
my-
or your Facebook.
My website is
Okay.
sherlockforhaverhill.com.
Okay.
And my phone number's on there, my email's on
Perfect.
there. If you want to email me, joe@sherlockforhaverhill.com. I'm on Facebook, I'm on social media. I live down the street practically, so you can just yell at me as I'm walking down.
Well, we just want to make sure because there are seniors and to the young ones, so everybody can get in touch with you there. That's why we want to make sure you got a telephone number or email address or something.
You can call me at 978-328-3051.
Good job. Listen, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you,
I
Lynda, for
so
having me. Thank you for
appreciate
having
you
me.
coming in. Give me a shake hand.
Thank you so
And the
much.
best of luck with everything.
I'll need it.
Okay,
Thank you.
there
Thank you so
go.
much.
You're welcome.